Welcome to Behind the Catch Fence. I'm your host, David Hoffman. We're here live at WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca. We're currently at the Andretti hairpin going into turn 2, and as we speak, Mario Andretti is currently running the two-seater. A couple other two-seaters rolling by. I wonder if we'll ever have the money for that, but with the budget that we have, who knows. Well, end of day 1 here at Laguna Seca, and a lot to talk about. Practice 1 officially is in the books, and as we take a look at the results, Josef Newgarden ended up P1, followed by Colton Herta, Alex Palou, the championship leader, Ed Jones, Alexander Rossi, Oliver Askew, James Hinchcliffe, the mayor of Hinchtown himself, one of our favorite guests of all time, Jack Harvey, Roman Grosjean, and Marcus Ericsson rounding out the top 10. Now talking about Scott Dixon for a little bit, I spoke to him during the media bullpen around noon today, and one of the things he said is just how much of a struggle it's been for him at types of tracks like this where it's just low grip level, and he said just by his driving style it's just so difficult to get through corners and all that. So take a look at some of the stuff that he had to say before practice 1.
We gotta try and do our best to win the last two. If that's possible, puts us in range to try and defend the championship. But goal number 1 is to keep the championship at Ganassi. So if I can be in a situation where I'm out of it after this weekend, I'll be more than happy to try and help Alex secure the championship and keep it at home.
Well, here's my next question. Just with competing for the championship with your teammates, with Palou and Ericsson on the outside, how do you kind of balance that competitive edge, but also making sure you don't get both like competitors in like a situation where you're like hurting the team?
I think it's rule number 1 is to not hit your teammate, and I think if you stick by that, then you're not really infringing on anything. You always give your teammate a little more room. You race them a little bit different because chip still butters the bread. So it's for me, it's been part of what I've been used to for a long time. Even if you go back to the earlier days with Dario and I, or Dan Weldon, or anybody like that. So that's the best position you can hope to find yourself in. So it's great for the team. It's great to see the success that the team's had this year. There's no downsides to it. I think it pushes the whole team effort along.
Now Dixon, who happens to be 49 points behind points leader and teammate Alex Palou, he has a lot of ground to make up, and it's going to take a lot, especially in qualifying, as we look ahead to that here coming up soon. I spoke to his teammate and 7-time NASCAR champion Jimmie Johnson about just some of the difficulties that he's had to go through the past year, just in IndyCar, and how he's had to even do a little bit more fitness with IndyCar.
I've especially in the last 10, 15 years, being prepared physically has been a part of my routine, and has been very helpful in a lot of ways. So, the dedication to it was there. It was just figuring out what I need to do for this discipline. And the great people at Pit Fit, based in Indianapolis, Indiana, work with a lot of drivers, and I jumped into their program, and they've honestly had me ready to go. So much different muscle group being used, a lot higher heart rate for a shorter duration. So I've really changed my entire program around, and they've done a great job helping me with that.
Now coming into this weekend, Jimmie Johnson has a lot of momentum just personally for him. As number 1, it was his birthday today, which is always cool. Had to wish him a happy birthday, and just also just the fact that Portland went well for him last week. He didn't have any issues. He was competing with guys like Sebastian Bourdais, who has 4 Champ Car championships, and just overall just a great weekend for him, and he looks to continue that forward. And yes, of course, I was able to talk to now 4-time Indianapolis 500 champion Helio Castroneves, as he told me about just the emotion and just what it was like to finally get his 4th Indy 500 win and Meyer-Shank Racing's first ever win in IndyCar.
Still kind of cloud 9, believe it or not. I think we allow us to have that scenario. What we achieved was incredible, part of history. But the way we achieved was actually the most impressive. Having a young team, first race ever with those guys, and first win ever for those guys. They gave me the number 4, so it's a teamwork, and that feeling is unimaginable. Plus, a lot of fans, a lot of people, which has turned out to be even special. It was a great result. As I said it before, next year, a lot of people are going to look at us different way, which I don't mind either, so we deserve it.
Now, of course, I did have to ask Elio, since the last time we spoke, he did mention about how maybe Ray Avernham in the SRX would give him a washing machine, but unfortunately that didn't happen.
I know, right? It was. I still have some dirt coming out of my nose, but it was a lot of fun.
Now I was also able to speak to Conor Daly, the mullet man himself, best hair in the paddock, as you'll see later on in this video. Conor always looking at the bright side, even though the bad luck Conor meme continues to just roll on.
Just because, you know, like, I've not crashed at all this year. Like I had one mistake in Nashville where we ended up in the tire barriers. It wasn't bad. So, like I'm trying to eliminate mistakes, and I feel like we've done a pretty good job in the races. But yeah, there's been a lot of stuff that's just out of my control, and it's really hard because, you know, we're still beating our teammate, and we're still, you know, out qualifying, which I think is really important when it comes down to the inner team battle, and you know what's going on there. And like, Renus is a very good driver, and it's really good to have him in the team. So yeah, it's just it's tough, but all you can do is just keep, you know, showing up every weekend and thinking that it's going to be your weekend.
Now, at the end of the day, we were able to speak to Josef Newgarden and Colton Herta in the press conference as they went P1 and P2 on the score charts today in the first session. And they both said that with IMSA laying down such a different rubber of tire, that the tire degradation was so bad, and they feel like it wasn't the track conditions, but they feel like as long as they keep laying down the rubber, and just as it continues, the groove continues to come on in, they feel like it'll be a lot better come, you know, tomorrow in practice, and then qualifying, and obviously then the race as well. Now that about wraps up today's first video of Practice 1 and just the whole media frenzy today here at WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and look for more tomorrow and so on, but you guys have a good day.